and welcome back to 49 News for our third show of the 2023 fall semester. I'm Natalie Rulio.
And I'm Ryan Mink. Tonight, we'll be taking a look at things happening on and around UD's campus, while also taking a step back for some worldwide news. 49 News starts right now. A 3-night run on Family Feud has won a Delaware family more than $20,000. Father Angelo Griffith gave the family's winning answer, Puff Daddy, referring to rapper Sean Combs' nickname. The family will split the money, each ending up with $4,000 pre-tax in their wallets. Angelo and his wife Lori will use their $8,000 to finish their ongoing kitchen renovations. 2 credit card skimmers were found at the BP gas station on South Main Street after being reported by a manager of the station on November 3rd. Customers who have recently visited the exterior gas pumps should watch for fraudulent charges on their statements, as they may have collected data or PINs. While investigators are still trying to determine when they were installed, this stolen information can be used to create fake debit and credit cards to steal from victims' accounts.
A local 27-year-old Wilmington man was charged with multiple counts after stealing gold coins valued at nearly $100,000. The FedEx worker, Jordan Hamilton, turned himself into the police after a search warrant at his residency led to the discovery of stolen gold, silver, and multiple firearms. Hamilton originally stole the coins from a package while working. His bail was set at $21,000, but he was later released. First-generation students are an important part of the University of Delaware, but do they really feel supported on campus? Grace McKenna reports.
First Generation College Day was on November 8th. This is a day that offers first-gen students a chance to connect with campus partners and with each other. Through different campus booths such as the Career Center, this day is supposed to offer help and support when resources aren't necessarily directly available.
First Generation Day at University of Delaware was a great way for first-generation students to get involved and meet up with their peers. But do these students really feel supported?
We don't have the resources that everyone else does, but UD's been a great university in providing those resources.
It can be hard when your parents didn't go to college and you don't have someone holding your hand and taking you on college tours and telling you how to apply.
A great way for first-gen students to get involved and get help on campus would be through the We Are First Club.
This is a first-generation club on campus. We're a registered student organization. We are basically just a community that is here to empower first-generation students on campus and bring them together through resources, different events, volunteering, and etc. So we collaborate with many campus partners, including the College of Arts and Sciences, the Academic Success Center, the McNair Scholars Program, and CAMI at the Career Center. And basically, they just give us all of these opportunities, whether they're federally funded or through the university, of just events that are geared toward first generation students, and we bring them to our events to kind of speak to our members.
Although these students have some great resources here at UD, how do they feel about being first generation students?
So being a first generation student is just kind of working a little bit harder than your peers because you don't have those resources coming from home and that just background knowledge.
It seems like UD truly does do a great job in supporting their first-gen students.
Working with first-gen students, especially on this day today, celebrating us, it's been so great.
Hello everyone, my name is Mike Malazzi, and welcome back to sports. Delaware football put on a show in Boaz Creek on Saturday as the Blue Hens cruised to a 45-7 victory over Campbell University. Quarterback Ryan O'Connor threw for 246 yards and 4 touchdowns, connecting with wide receiver Joshua Youngblood on a pair of scores while also helping wide receiver Jordan Townsend and tight end Brayton Brose find pay dirt. Coach Ryan Carty's defense was highlighted by defensive back Khalil Dawsey, who secured 2 interceptions in the contest, with one being returned 100 yards for a Delaware touchdown. Dawsey's 100-yard pick six marks just the 4th time this feat has been accomplished in Blue Hen football history, and his 2 interceptions are the highest in a single game since former Blue Hen and NFL first-round pick Nasir Adderley did the same in 2018. Delaware will close out the regular season this Saturday at home against Villanova. The women's basketball team dropped a close game to Lehigh University last night, with the Mountain Hawks securing a narrow 78-77 victory over the Blue Hens. Delaware started slow and headed to the locker room at halftime, trailing 45-33. The nearly completed comeback was largely due to the play of center Clark Sconyers, who posted a career-high 33 points and added 10 rebounds to achieve her second career double-double. Forward Chloe Wilson added 18 points of her own as the Blue Hens fell to 1-1 on the season. They will now head to the Sunshine State to play Florida Gulf Coast University in a 3-day tournament starting Friday, November 24th. The men's basketball team improved their record to 3-0 on Sunday as the Blue Hens defeated Air Force 65-57. Forward Jair Davis led the Hens with 21 points and tied teammate Christian Ray with a team high of 7 rebounds. Both Ray and Davis eclipsed the 800 career point mark in this contest, with the former having also reached the 800 career rebound mark in Delaware's previous contest against Goldie Beacom. The Blue Hens are now 3-0 for the second time under head coach Martin Inglesby and will look to improve their win streak when they conclude tonight's road tilt at Delaware State. The University of Delaware women's cross-country team traveled to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania last Friday to compete in the NCAA Mid-Atlantic Regionals. The event was hosted by Lehigh University and allowed the Blue Hens to compete against 26 of the best teams in the region. Molly Lashley, Danielle Eshelman, Lindsay Volkman, and Marissa Daly all recorded personal best times en route to a 537-point performance that allowed Delaware to secure 19th overall place in the competition. And the University of Delaware volleyball team drew their incredible regular season to a close on Sunday when the Blue Hens defeated Elon University 3-1, completing a 2-day weekend sweep. The win was Delaware's 13th in a row, bringing this season's victory count to 22 and allowing the Blue Hens to clinch the second seed in the upcoming CAA conference tournament. Lonnie Mason led the way with a game-high 21 kills, marking her 4th game this season with at least 20, while also adding 12 digs and 4 aces. She was joined on the stat sheet by teammate Savannah Siemens, who recorded 11 kills and 6 digs, and Kira Johnson, who also recorded 11 kills coupled with 4 blocks. The Blue Hens will be back in action Friday night when they face the winner of number 6 seed Northeastern and number 3 seed Campbell in their first CAA tournament match. That's all for sports tonight. I'm Mike Malazzi. Now, to our weatherman Joe Davis with this week's forecast.
Good evening, Newark. I'm Joe Davis with today's weather update. Starting with your 49 weather highlights, we are tracking warmer temperatures and lots of sun in the next days. Temperature highs are sitting in those more comfortable 60s, followed by a big chill coming this weekend, and we are looking ahead to Thanksgiving. Our current weather conditions are 47 degrees with no rain in sight throughout the entire day. We have seen nothing but calm winds and low humidity with the dew point at 39 degrees. On your walk to class tomorrow, expect almost freezing temperatures for your 8 a.m. classes, followed by some comfortable fall weather through noon and 4 p.m. As long as you are outside after the sun is up, the sun will be out. Tomorrow is looking like a perfect day to rake some leaves and enjoy the fall weather before it gets too cold. Here we have our local satellite provided by UD-SEMA, which shows those clouds that were lingering today that are going to get pushed out by this system and over the Atlantic overnight. This will make way for all of those clear skies that we're getting tomorrow, which will be here by the time the sun comes up. Back in Newark, looking at tonight, we'll see temperatures drop from those comfortable 60s down to as low as 38 degrees late tonight into tomorrow morning, with winds up to 10 miles per hour. Sadly, the sun is looking to rise at 6:48 a.m. and set at an early 4:47 p.m., so please enjoy the sun while it's out. Moving to the 5-day forecast, expect those 60s temperatures for the rest of your school week, but the temperatures this weekend will be dropping to the low 50s and even into the 40s as Monday comes around. UD is letting out just in time for students to drive away from this cold campus and go home for Thanksgiving. And speaking of Thanksgiving, for our Thanksgiving forecast, we're hoping to see sunny and clear skies with only a 2% chance of rain. However, we are more than a week away from Thanksgiving, so these numbers are subject to change. But for all of our sakes, let's hope that they don't. That's all for your forecast tonight. I'm Joe Davis. Now back to Natalie with more on campus news.
International House is a living learning community located on Ray Street. This residential housing consists of students passionate about travel, international studies, and learning about other cultures firsthand. Sarah Corallo has the story.
iHouse Culture Night at Ray Street is a recurring event meant to foster the celebration of different cultures around campus. These culture nights are affiliated with iHouse, or International House, one of the 9 living learning communities here at UD.
The point of iHouse is just to foster global engagement between the domestic students and the international students. So we have usually twice a month a globally minded event, so celebrating different cultures or different events, and we invite the international students to come to iHouse for activities, food.
While iHouse is not first-year housing, international and domestic sophomore, junior, and senior undergraduate students are eligible to apply. You do not have to be a world scholar to live here, as iHouse welcomes anyone interested in learning more about other cultures.
It's been really fun to work with students who want to bring an aspect of their culture. So tonight's event, Diwali, we had some students with Indian heritage kind of bring aspects of their culture and kind of share how they celebrate Diwali with their peers, which is a really nice opportunity.
You get a lot of people coming to those events who are coming there because they want to engage in these different cultures. And so a lot of my friends are international students, which is such an amazing experience to have, because it's like, these are people from all over the world with such incredible experiences. And to be in the vicinity of all of these experiences and all of this knowledge is a privilege. And I really, really enjoy being here, particularly because iHouse Culture Nights take place right downstairs.
Being an iHouse resident means having easy access to many events that celebrate different cultures around campus. But that isn't the only perks to living on Ray Street.
But I really, really think that there's such a convenience associated with living on campus in terms of the meal plans, in terms of just, you know, the housing, the location. And I think with living learning communities, I'm not really sure why a lot of people don't consider them, because for me, it feels like a really easy way to make new friends. And I know for sure, like, my living experience is very influenced by the people I live with. I'm not one of those people who I can just kind of use a dorm as like a place to stay. Like, I need to live in my dorm. And living learning communities do a pretty good job of doing that. And I know a lot of friends who are in other LLCs like Gender Inclusive Housing, who really enjoy their time there, and they really feel seen there. So I think it's really important to building a community while also getting those perks that on-campus housing tends to offer.
Very close to Penn Cater. I know a lot of people are concerned about living close to dining halls. But I'd say if you want like a place to have like vibrant culture and like events like once a month, I would say we have giant events, and if you love those types of things, I recommend living here.
It's always nice to have like people that you can like relate to. So like definitely having other world scholars that like, even though they went to different countries, we all have that like same like experience of going abroad and being like kind of new on campus. But then like you still get that other sense of like diversity, because all of us do different things. We have like sports, some do theater, a lot are in music groups. So we have like a really diverse community here. There's always something to do at iHouse. That's something that you don't get at the other like regular residence hall.
iHouse has certainly given many students a real sense of community.
For anyone who is considering applying for this LLC, I definitely say do it, because if you're thinking about applying, if you're thinking about living in a global community, chances are you're probably the best kind of person to live here. If you're taking the initiative to be a part of a global community, that's the first step in being a part of a global community.
The iHouse Living Learning Community is just another way that UD facilitates international education. From 49 News, I'm Serafina Carollo.
The infamous Rockefeller tree has made its reappearance in New York City for the year. The 80-foot, 12-ton tree was lifted by crews at the Rockefeller Plaza on Saturday morning. This year, the massive 80-year-old Norway spruce was cut down from Vestal, New York, and endured a 200-mile journey to get to the plaza. Over the next few days, it will continue to be decorated with over 50,000 multicolored LEDs and topped with a 900-pound Swarovski star covered in 3 million crystals. The popular Main Street restaurant and bar, Klondike Kate's, recently got a festive remodel for the season. Casey Nyman has the story.
It's that time of year again. As the air gets snippier and the nights get darker, pretty soon Christmas decorations will be out everywhere. Gearing up for the holiday season, Klondike Kate's is already ahead of the curve. The popular Newark restaurant is one of the first to re-illuminate Main Street. Since 2019, they have been decking out their restaurant and bar every holiday season, transforming it into a Christmas wonderland.
This historic two-story building is filled with hundreds of Christmas decorations. However, with a pretty dedicated crew, it only takes one day to put it all up.
In preparation, Kate's closed down the whole restaurant for 2 days. The team spent last Monday putting all of the decorations up and even crafting some new items to spruce up this year's festive ambiance. According to General Manager Jamie McArdle, it's a pretty in-depth task.
So it's months kind of before the actual day. So we collectively throughout the year gather items that we want. We can think of a new theme. Each year we make small tweaks, so we try to get a couple new things that, stick out so people are like, oh my gosh, that's new this year. And it's not every year coming back to the same exact decorations. So months out, we're gathering things, putting things together, creating lists, and then the day comes, and then it's a 14-hour day
During the rest of the year, the supplies is stored at their second location, the Chesapeake Inn, and then moved in with catering trucks at the start of the season. Helpers came at around 10 to start the process and stayed until around 1 a.m. to complete the finishing touches. Employees helped with wrapping presents, assembling pieces, and hanging it all up. Outside, they blew up giant inflatables, hung wreaths, and strung lights across the brand new patio.
This room alone, it has like hundreds of ornaments that hang from the ceiling or on the trees, large size ornaments that, sit next to you. We have probably 20 to 25 Christmas trees throughout the restaurant. There's many, life-size nutcrackers. We have a life-size Santa. It's really not very easy to quantify.
While last year's theme was focused on Santa's workshop, this time around they went for something new, candy canes. Probably one of their most infamous pieces, though, is the big life-size sled at the back of the restaurant.
My husband and I actually built it. Yeah, so that is my favorite. This year we have a surprise for everybody. The sleigh is going to look a little different, and I'm going to leave that for people to, see. Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Klondike Kate's sleigh bar menu and decorations are officially up from now until the end of the first week of January. This historic piece of Main Street history is the perfect addition to your holiday season bucket list. Reporting for 49 News, I'm Casey Nyman.
Members of the Delaware State Senate Republican Caucus are urging Governor John Carney to remove the current Delaware Department of Agriculture Secretary, Michael Scoose. This comes after Scoose was found to have violated multiple Delaware laws. One offense was violating the conduct of state employees, officers, and officials by paying Agricultural Department employees to house animals that had been seized due to improper living conditions. Scoose stands by what he did and says he had no other choice and believes he acted in the best interest of the department. The governor has not yet made his decision on the matter. Mike O'Neill, a University of Delaware professor and union official, has filed to run for the January 9th special election for mayor. O'Neill has worked at UD as an earth sciences professor for the past 18 years, and for the past 6 years, he has also served as a contract maintenance and grievance officer for the faculty union. O'Neill will face former Mayor Jerry Clifton and potentially other candidates in the race to replace Stu Markham. Now here's Josh with politics.
Good evening. I'm Joshua Desiderio, and this is your political news update. The House of Representatives has passed a short-term funding bill that aims to keep 4 federal agencies open through mid-January and the rest open through early February. The bill was passed in an attempt to avoid a government shutdown and maintain stability. According to the House, the bill maintains current funding levels and has no harmful policy riders. However, this also means that the bill does not include any spending cuts or funding for foreign policy priorities. Speaking of foreign policy, President Joe Biden met with Chinese President Xi Jinping today at 2 p.m. at a summit in San Francisco. This marks the Chinese president's first visit to the U.S. in 6 years. Recently, issues of trade, human rights, and the future of Taiwan have slowly eroded U.S.-China relations. The goal of the summit is for both leaders to ease these tensions and come to an understanding, especially given the increasingly volatile climate around the Israel-Hamas and Russia-Ukraine wars. The summit will also address policies on climate change. The State Department says that the U.S. and China want to, quote, reaffirm their commitment to work jointly and together with other countries to address the climate crisis, end quote. Finally, the two leaders will discuss the fentanyl pipeline from China to the U.S., which has been a massive contributor in the recent opioid crisis across America. President Biden is expected to hold a press conference afterward to address the results of the summit. In election news, House Speaker Mike Johnson has endorsed former President Donald Trump for the 2024 Republican presidential election. Johnson states that he expects Trump to be the Republican nominee and that we have to make Biden a one-term president. Johnson also endorsed Trump back in 2020, backing the former president's claims of a stolen election. Johnson even went so far as to lead a Supreme Court brief signed by over 100 other House Republicans in an attempt to discount the election results in key states that Trump had lost. In other news, David DePape, the man who broke into former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's home and attacked her husband Paul with a hammer, took the stand in his own defense on Tuesday. DePape pleaded not guilty to attempted kidnapping of a federal official and assault on the immediate family of a federal official. DePape's defense states that he never intended to harm either Nancy or her husband. He even went further to say that he, quote, had a good rapport going with Pelosi. Once officers arrived, DePape hit Mr. Pelosi 3 times with a hammer. He said he was using Paul Pelosi to get to his other targets. Paul Pelosi is expected to make a full recovery, and DePape's trial is still ongoing. And speaking of trials, the Supreme Court has issued a new code of ethics for its chief justices to follow. The code bars justices from taking financial gifts from individuals or organizations. This comes after Justices Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito were revealed to have undisclosed financial ties. It's currently unknown who these ties are to and how much the justices are receiving. However, many have argued that this creates a conflict of interest for these justices to properly perform their duty. That's all for your political news update. I'm Joshua Desiderio. 49 News will be right back after these messages.
49 News starts right now.
I'm Emma Schneider here with your entertainment news. I'm Laura Daly here with this week's weather update. We could see the clouds are moving in to the area as the night progresses.
I went out to find out what students really think.
Let's see what students at the University of Delaware have to say.
Here's what you can do to keep yourself safe during this holiday season.
Sadly, that is all we have for you tonight on 49 News.
It's back. We're back.
Penn Sport Night, your University of Delaware sports broadcasting show.
That team from Boston. Just because they got a leprechaun don't mean they're going to be lucky.
How has your experience been playing field hockey here?
How magical was the beginning of the season for you guys?
Who are you rooting for this World Cup?
Probably the USA or Scotland.
Watch the play. I don't think I've seen it though. Yeah, you can't guard them. That's not your body.
It's her first time in 10 years. So we're like kind of at the same level.
Welcome to Real Talk.
What is the best Halloween candy?
You had to play a song every time you came into the room. What song would it be?
This movie's bonkers. Let's get right into that.
Yeah. Do you guys like pickles?
No.
I love pickles. I'm so excited.
You see Kanye West as this icon, as this person, and he said some anti-Semitic things. So it's like, how do you deal with it?
There's nothing scarier than a student-run television show with an audience of 13.
Do you mean bi-weekly?
Don't they look stunning?
What?
I don't want to hold you back.
Ow!
What now?
McKinley! Shut the hell up!
Let me just leave these babies here, Ricky, while I head on up to the saloon for the hour. I'm just gonna.
I've been your host, Lauren Kapp, and this is the Bi-Weekly Show.
The CDC warns healthcare providers to look out for children who may have been exposed to lead poisoning after eating cinnamon-flavored applesauce products. As of November 7th, there has been 22 reported cases of high blood lead levels. The FDA encourages families to discard of these products and check for lead exposure. Iceland declared a national emergency on Saturday after officials warned of a potential volcanic eruption near the town of Grindavik. All 3,400 residents of the town were promptly evacuated, although it is not yet clear when the eruption will occur, if at all. As of midnight on Monday, nearly 900 earthquakes have been detected in the area, although their size and intensity seem to be decreasing. While authorities still believe the magma will eventually reach the surface, they reminded the evacuated residents that they are in no imminent danger and they were thankful to have enough time to prepare. Looking for a nice breakfast to start your day? A new restaurant in Newark can fill that hunger. Ryan Mink reports.
Famous sausage house can now be found in Newark.
The restaurant, located at the previous Duck Donuts, opened its doors to hungry customers on October 28th and has been feeding Newark since. A breakfast restaurant with a variety of foods to choose from, especially their famous sausages, owner Clifford Murray says Newark was a perfect location to expand into their second franchise.
I live here. I live about a mile away, so I've always thought it would be a good location between the local residents and the students. So once we can get our night window up and going, I think it would hit well with the students a little bit more. So.
Helen's Sausage is now in its third generation of family ownership, something Clifford takes great pride in.
Yeah, it went from my grandmother to my dad and then to me. Means a lot. My dad had talked about possibly selling it long ago, but I didn't want to see it go away. So it feels good to not only keep it going, but to expand it and grow it.
Helen's originally opened its doors back in 1983 in Smyrna with the goal to serve up the best breakfast in town. For 3 generations now, they haven't changed the menu or goal of the restaurant since its founding. Their food looks so appetizing that I had to give it a try. All right, everyone, we have an STN exclusive bonus review. Here we have the sausage, egg, and cheese with cheddar cheese, of course, and we're going to give it a nice review. Wow, that is something. I have to give that an 8.7. That is a great sausage, egg, and cheese. Guys gotta come down here and try it out. If you ever need a good breakfast early in the morning, try out Helen's famous sausage house. From 49 News, I'm Ryan Mink. 2 NASA astronauts embarked on their first spacewalk on November 1st, however, left something behind with them. Jasmine Mogabelli and Laura O'Hara were tasked with completing work on the station's solar arrays, but accidentally left a tool bag slip out of their hands. The bag is now floating throughout space. However, according to NASA's official blog, quote, Mission Control analyzed the bag's trajectory and determined the risk of recontracting the station is low and that the onboard crew and space station are safe with no action required, end quote. During the next few months, the tool bag, which is now orbiting space, may be potentially spotted with a pair of binoculars until it disintegrates in the atmosphere. The government in Nepal has decided to ban TikTok this past Monday. Nepal's foreign minister stated that the app was disrupting, quote, social harmony, end quote, in the country. This decision was made to hold social media platforms accountable, but no one knows the details behind why this ban has happened now. Now on to entertainment with Grace.
Marvel lovers everywhere will be upset to hear about the new film, The Marvels, opening weekend. This weekend has been said to be the lowest MCU opening weekend in history, with a $47 million box revenue. Marvel has usually been unrivaled in its success in the past years, with its movies collecting more than $30 billion in grosses at the worldwide box office. In other news, dystopian fans everywhere are highly anticipating the release of the new Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The film has already set a new high record on Rotten Tomatoes compared to the previous films. This movie will hit theaters on November 17th. If you're looking for something a little more cheerful, Trolls Band Together also comes out on November 17th. This film will see the return of Justin Timberlake and Anna Kendrick in the recording booth. It will feature NSYNC's first song following their return to music, their last song being Boyfriend in 2002. The strike is over. The SAG strike is finally over, after almost 5 months. Board members from Hollywood Actors Union voted Friday to approve the deal that finally ended the strike. The executive director of the Screen Actors Guild, Duncan Crabtree Ireland, said that this deal will keep the motion picture industry sustainable as a profession for working-class performers. This deal involved the use of AI in films, as well as a general wage increase of 7%. With some new movie releases comes new music. Pop sensation Olivia Rodrigo has just released a single for Hunger Games' Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The single, titled Can't Catch Me Now, will be featured in the film. We can't talk about Olivia Rodrigo without also speaking about her recent Grammy nominations. The pop star has received a whopping 6 nominations, with Ballad of a Homeschool Girl nominated for Best Rock Song. Some other Grammy nominees include SZA, who is leading in the most nominations with 9, all for her 2023 album SOS. We can't talk about music without mentioning Taylor Swift. Taylor has made history yet again by becoming the first person with 7 nominations in the Song of the Year category, with her song Anti-Hero. Some other nominees include Miley Cyrus, Lana Del Rey, Ice Spice, and Noah Kahan. If you're already in the holiday spirit, you are not alone. Mariah Carey and Wham have officially broken the record for the earliest appearance of a Christmas song in the UK singles chart. Both songs compete for being the most played songs each year, and this definitely suggests that they are fan favorites. Jared Leto has gone great lengths in the past, this time making history by climbing the Empire State Building. Leto confessed that the climb was more challenging than expected, climbing from the 86th floor to the peak. He took on the challenge to promote the forthcoming world tour for his band 30 Seconds to Mars, who have not performed together live in 5 years. Finally, cosmetics mogul Kylie Jenner has released her new fashion line Kai, with its first collection including all things leather, perfect for this upcoming winter season. The company will be releasing items and collections, with the newest drop coming November 15th. This collection is aiming to redefine the modern wardrobe with base layers and puffer jackets. Now back to you, Ryan.
Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and Natalie Rugo went out to see what students are thankful for this holiday season.
All may know that Thanksgiving break is upon us. Only 2 more days on campus until a majority of students go home for this national holiday. The original purpose of Thanksgiving was to celebrate the end of the Revolutionary War. However, nowadays, people view it as a day to feast on delicious food and show thankfulness in their lives. Let's see what students here on campus are thankful for and what Thanksgiving means to them.
I'm really thankful for my friends and family and the chance that I get to be here. And I'm excited to go home and see everyone over the break, get to decompress, rest, a little break from school, things like that.
Yeah, so I'm thankful for both my mom and dad. I mean, they supported me all throughout my undergrad. Now being a grad student, having them as a support system is very awesome. And regarding Thanksgiving break, I'm looking forward to spend quality time with my family and friends back home.
I'm thankful for my friends, my family, being able to get an education. Over the break, I'm excited to see my dog.
It is clear that many students here at UD, and even some graduate students, feel that Thanksgiving is a time to be spent with family and friends. There is a lot that students have to be thankful for, and many are looking forward to this upcoming Thanksgiving break. Let's see what Professor Goodwin has to say about how reflecting on one's thankfulness can help their overall mood.
So there's a lot of research on the effect of gratitude, and then expressing that gratitude and that thankfulness to others is so important. So one of the things that I really love about Thanksgiving is when it's one of the few holidays where people get together. And I really do think that a lot of students start to feel a lot of anxiety and pressure during that time. And so having this break is really important for them.
Thank you, Professor Goodwin, for your enlightenment. I hope those who celebrate have a great Thanksgiving break and take time to reflect on what they are thankful for. For 49 News, this is Natalie Rulio.
That's all we have for you tonight on 49 News. Make sure you tune in for our next show on December 13th.
And be sure to follow us on social media at 49 News. It's been a pleasure being your host tonight. I'm Natalie Rulio.
And I'm Ryan Ming. From all of us here, have a good night and stay safe.